The Tale of the Forgotten Village. Once upon a time, in a land nestled between towering mountains and endless forests, there was a small village called Lumina.
This village was unlike any other, for it was hidden from the rest of the world by a magical fog that only the villagers could pass through. The people of Lumina were happy and content, living in harmony with nature, but there was one problem: they had forgotten their own history.
Generations ago, Lumina was a vibrant place filled with music, stories, and the wisdom of their ancestors. But as time passed, the villagers became so focused on their daily lives that they stopped telling their tales, singing their songs, and passing down their knowledge. The village became quiet, and the once bright lights of Lumina began to dim. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was different from the other villagers. She loved to explore the forest, climb the mountains, and listen to the whispering winds. She had always felt there was something more to Lumina, something hidden just beyond the fog. One day, while wandering in the woods, Elara found an old, dusty book hidden under the roots of a massive tree. The book was filled with stories about the village, tales of bravery, magic, and adventures that seemed too incredible to be true. Elara's heart raced as she read about a time when Lumina was a beacon of light, known far and wide for its wisdom and courage. Determined to uncover the truth, Elara took the book to the village elder, a wise but weary man named Thallas. Thallas had lived longer than anyone in Lumina, and though he had forgotten much, he still held on to fragments of the past. "Thallas," Elara said, her voice trembling with excitement, "I found this book in the forest. It talks about our village's history. Why have we forgotten all of this?" Thallas looked at the book with wide eyes, his hand shaking as he took it from her. This is the Book of Lumina. It was lost centuries ago," he whispered. "Our ancestors knew that one day we would forget, and they wrote down our stories to keep our spirit alive. But without the book, the stories were lost, and so was our light." Elara felt a surge of determination. "We must bring back the stories. We must remind everyone of who we are." Thallas nodded, but his eyes were filled with doubt. "It will not be easy. The fog that surrounds our village is growing stronger. It feeds on our forgetfulness, and if we do not act soon, Lumina will be lost forever." Without hesitation, Elara gathered the villagers. She told them about the book and the forgotten tales of Lumina. At first, the villagers were skeptical. They had lived in the quiet for so long that they could hardly believe there was a time when their village was full of life and light. But Elara was persistent. She began to read the stories aloud every evening in the village square. Slowly, the villagers started to listen. They began to remember fragments of songs, the melodies that their grandparents had once sung. The village elder, Thallas, shared what little he could recall, and soon, the villagers started telling their own stories. As the stories were told, something miraculous happened. The lights in Lumina began to glow brighter. The fog that had kept the village hidden started to lift, revealing the beauty of the mountains and forests that surrounded them. One night, as Elara was reading the final tale from the book, a strange wind swept through the village. It carried with it the voices of their ancestors, whispering words of encouragement and pride. The fog that had shrouded Lumina for so long vanished entirely, and the village was bathed in the soft light of 1,000 stars. The villagers rejoiced, for they knew that their village had been reborn. They had rediscovered their history, their songs, and their courage. Lumina was once again a place of light, not just in the physical sense but in the hearts and minds of its people. Elara became a hero in Lumina, not because she was the strongest or the smartest, but because she believed in the power of stories and the importance of remembering where they came from. The village thrived, and the tales of Lumina were passed down from generation to generation, never to be forgotten again. And so, Lumina remained a place of light and joy, where the power of stories kept the fog of forgetfulness at bay, and the villagers lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoy the tale.